Oh, you pooch.
Here you go. Take it.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist's cookbook. A sand-coloured cover, embossed.
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
I've heard there are some interesting ideas in it. Every alchemist is in dogged pursuit of wisdom, especially those from Prague.
Perhaps you know more about that book than I do. Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord Nickvard Libak helped me sort the new books at the time, and the one you're looking for caught his attention. He left with it before I could even discover what it's about. All I remember is the author's initials, B.B. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, and I appreciate Nickvard's help, but he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return it, but he's been avoiding me.
I'll have a talk with Nickvard and find out what the problem is.
You think I haven't tried? But since you've already offered to address this pressing situation, listen to what I've learned. It seems Nickvard lost the book. I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books around with him, but to leave them in his chamber and read them there. But Nickvard is old and stubborn, and this is how things turn out.
The price of such a book must be incalculable. People like Nickvard are too dumb to understand.
But I digress. As I said, Nickvard is intentionally avoiding me. But I've made headway. I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha, the cook, Regina, the maid, and Hirsch, the hand.
I reckon those aren't the only 3 people that know him.
I'm surprised that he's ever spoken to anyone but myself. Nickvard is a loner. Which is also why I suspect something bad has happened. Now that he's decided to leave his shell, that is. But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since Lord von Berkove's arrival, I've been preoccupied with other matters.
I'll help you. I'll ask all three and see if they lead me to Nickvard.
Many thanks. If you aren't sure what to do, stop by and we'll discuss what you found out.
I won't keep you any longer. I hear there are demons causing trouble at the castle again.
Again, is anyone sprinkling yet?
Aye. Me.
That's the only thing that works.
What do you think of all this?
Occasionally, I hear the servants telling stories that sound like they're taken straight out of a Cistercian penitential. Even Gregory the Great, Gregory of Tours, Caesarius of Heisterbach, or Jacobus de Vorgine all share a similar view of unholy forces. The devil, as the enemy of both God and man, makes every effort to seduce the soul onto the road to hell, and to harm people however he can. How do you imagine the forces of evil?
Like a hairy terror with hooves, horns, and big nasty teeth.
Like something out of the Codex Gigas. Anything else?
What kind of tasks do you do for Lord von Bergov?
Rare ones, lad. His lordship spends little time at Trotsky. As the royal chamberlain, he has to be in Prague most of the time.
Why does Sir Otto have to be in Prague so often?
Because that's the seat of the royal court, and our lord is one of the highest royal officials. Praga caput regni, young man. Prague is the heart of the kingdom. All the political threads come together there. It's where they handle administration of the country. If you want to be somebody, you have to go to Prague, or to Moravia, to that traitor Jobst of Luxembourg.
Excuse me, but why do you consider Margrave Jobst a traitor?
And what else should I call a person who only looks out for any chance to benefit himself?
But now he's fighting for King Wenceslas, isn't he?
Jobst has changed sides so often it's impossible to keep track. But, to give him credit where credit is due, unlike our king, he's a great politician. Wenceslas wasn't even able to hold on to the imperial crown that his father passed on to him before he died. Yes, indeed. One day that bloody Margrave Jobst of ours is going to make it big. He might even become the emperor himself.
What does the royal chamberlain do?
I understand, lad. You're asking about his authority, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know anything at all about him.
Sir Otto von Burgo is the royal chamberlain, subcamerarius in Latin. He's one of the 9 most powerful officials in the kingdom. He manages the royal towns and monasteries, approves the councillors and abbots in them, and appoints the royal judges.
Why doesn't Lord von Bergov free our King Wenceslas from captivity in Vienna? He's powerful enough for that, isn't he?
It's politics, boy. Pure and simple.
I understand, but could you explain it a bit more for me? Why did they take our king captive? And why did the Czech lords let Sigismund spread all over the country like a plague?
That's complicated. Back during the reign of both King's father, Emperor Charles, the nobles gained great wealth and power. And when young Wenceslas came to the throne, he didn't have enough experience or courage to stand up to them. That's why he surrounded himself with faithful lower lords and entrusted them with all the royal offices.
I reckon the high nobility didn't like that, eh?
You're damn right they didn't. They conspired against the king and established their League of Lords. That started a protracted war, dragging the king's cousins, Prokop and Jobst of Luxembourg, into it. But King Wenceslas was stubborn, unyielding, and, unfortunately, also often drunk. He preferred to run away from politics to wine, women, and the hunt. It was only a matter of time before the lords conspired with his brother, the Hungarian King Sigismund. A year ago, they got together and captured Wenceslas in Prague, and Sigismund had the royal castles occupied by his allies. They secretly took the king to Vienna, where his brother is still holding him firmly under lock and key.
So von Bergov and the others want Sigismund to be king?
Not at all. Soon they discovered they'd miscalculated, and that Sigismund wanted the whole country for himself. And now they can't agree on what to do about it. I think that's why Lord von Berkhoff received your message. He's trying to find new allies among the lower nobility.
Who are among Wenceslas's opponents?
Who do you think? All the nobles in the League of Lords, of course. The most powerful are Henry of Rosenberg, Henry of Hraditz, Boresh of Riesenberg, Bohuslav of Schwamberg, and our Sir Otto von Berghoff, too, so far.
But we serve Sahanish of Lipa and Radzig Kobyla.
Exactly. They're representatives of the lower nobility, who always stood faithfully by Wenceslas because he handed out royal positions to them.
Ah, damn politics.
On the contrary, boy. It's only thanks to politics that von Berghoff didn't send you two to the gallows straight away.
I'd like to learn something.
What is this about?
Tell me some news from the world.
All right then, but it'll take a while.
The Chamberlain said you know something about the demons haunting the castle.
Of course I do. But I don't know what to think anymore. I keep finding hair in my food. Someone hides my spices. My soup goes sour. And there's that awful smell.
Oh, that sounds terrible. The Chamberlain wants this resolved as soon as possible.
It's about time. Do you have any idea how scared people are? All it takes is one mention of those beasts and the maids start threatening to find work elsewhere. I hear the castle has always been connected to hell, but nobody tells you that when you ask to work here.
Where should I start looking?
They must be coming from the other side of the castle. Under the crone.
All right. But what am I supposed to do about them? I heard I'm supposed to pour some kind of special water.
But you're mostly right. You have to douse the ground in front of the fireplace they're coming from. That creates a boundary demons can't cross.
All right. Where can I find the fireplaces?
That's hard to describe. Anyway, there are 5 such fireplaces on the crone side of the castle. Together they form the shape of a 5-pointed star, a pentagram.
Don't worry. I'll take care of everything. Hopefully I won't miss any of them.
If I were you, I'd do it during the night. Even the demons have to sleep sometime, don't they?
The devil never sleeps.
And the old hag rushes in where the devil fears to tread, eh? The sooner you get rid of them, the better. Farewell, my friend.
Would you repair a few things for me? I'd like to discuss the price.
Sure, why not? Finally, a reasonable sum. Great! Come back any time.
The Chamberlain mentioned you've seen demons at the castle.
You're damn right I did. What do you know about it?
I hear they're crawling out of fireplaces in the castle below the Crone.
I'm sure at least half a dozen demons have taken up residence in the western courtyard. If the Chamberlain didn't tell you how dangerous this is for all of us, I'm telling you now.
Of course he told me. That's why we're trying to resolve this as quickly as possible.
I'm glad to hear it. Give those demons their due.
Tell me what you know then.
You know the guardhouse with the little arena? In the palace below the Crone, over by the outer wall? Inside, I mean, on the ground floor. The place stinks like hell, day in and day out. It makes my head spin. I've seen things there with my own eyes I'd rather not talk about. I'd start the investigation there if I were you.
All right. I'll look into it.
What would you like?
I'll have a look at the wares. I'd like to discuss the price.
All right, I'm listening.
Here. And something for your trouble.
Well, well, thank you very much. Thank you, and take care.
Here you go. Take it.
Jesus Christ be praised. What do you need?
Show me your wares. Let's talk about the price.
I'm listening. You see, I knew we'd come to an agreement. I hope you'll be satisfied. Take care.
The Chamberlain said you know something about the demons haunting the castle.
Those monsters are back again. Last summer, we only heard them scratching the walls and roof with their claws. But they got a lot more bold this time. They're leaving charred marks on my wooden spoons, throwing clumps in my food, and they're constantly leaving their droppings in my kitchen.
Don't worry. The Chamberlain is taking this very seriously. He sent me to take care of it.
My eyes and ears aren't what they used to be, but I still know everything that's going on around here. Be on the lookout for people walking arse first. That's how the demons disguise themselves, so you can't see their hollow inside.
All right. I'll keep an eye out. Where should I look for them?
They're coming from the other side of the castle, below the maiden, I swear.
Manietta told me the demons are coming from this side of the castle, from below the crone.
My God, the poor girl must be under their spell. And I was so fond of her.
Let me guess. I'll have to find and sprinkle 5 fireplaces.
Of course. Everyone knows the demons enter this world through the flames. You have to find 5 fireplaces in the palace, under the maiden, and sprinkle water on them. Be careful to sprinkle within the width of your little finger. 9 drops, 1 for every angelic choir, and every 3rd drop must be twice as big as the ones before it.
I'll take care of it. I hope I can do it exactly as you said.
And one more thing to take to heart. The spell is most effective when performed in the moonlight. But most of all, don't forget, 9 drops.
Bertha, instead of devils, I need your help now with Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I'm waiting for Lord Libac to stop by. I brewed him another phial of medicine, but I don't even know if the last one helped. I told him to stop by for another one soon. I reckon he must be feeling better.
Did he say where he was headed?
I can't say. I promised Lord Libac his secret is safe with me, as well as his phial of medicine.
Oh, come now. Nickvard misplaced an important book somewhere. A sort of alchemist cookbook. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord Libac's secret is certainly worth more than any book.
Listen, Bertha. Do you realize your stubbornness is making everything more difficult? Nickvard could have got himself into a lot of trouble by borrowing that book. Maybe somebody tried to kill him, and you don't even know about it. You think he's suffering from rheumatism or something?
Aye, right, I'm sure that's how it is. Like Lord Libac is part of some grand conspiracy. As if, you idiot.
I don't know how else to convince you. I'm not going to waste any more time here. A little more here. A little more here.
I just had a chill down my spine. What was that?
I'm sorry.
A little more here.
God be with you. Keep the peace and we'll stay friends.
Clear off! Do you hear? It's him! Arrest him! Help! A burglar is over there poking around in a lock with a lockpick.
Easy now. I surrender.
You're a wanted man. I know where you were trying to break into. Around here, you have to pay for such foolish ideas.
I'm sure that looks strange, but I can explain.
I'm listening.
I noticed that the lock was covered in a layer of dirt, so I decided to clean it off.
You wanted to clean a stranger's lock.
That's right. I was a blacksmith, and if there's any job I hate, then it's fixing clogged up locks.
And what were you cleaning it with? A lockpick?
Oh, that's not a lockpick. It's a special lock cleaning tool.
It looks like a lockpick to me.
Well, they do look similar, but it's a cleaning tool. Now the lock just needs to be oiled, and it'll be as good as new.
So you did that out of the kindness of your heart.
Aye, why not? It's easy. If you want, we can go and see your blacksmith. I'm sure he'll tell you the same thing. That's just the way it's done.
I don't have time to talk to the blacksmith about such nonsense. The next time you decide to go about cleaning people's locks for free, you better tell them first. Now move along.
Ah, so you're doing that.
Huh?
What?
You shouldn't be bothering us here.
So it's you? Uh-huh.
Eight, nine.
Good to see you.
Greetings.
You're not permitted to be here. Surrender, now!
I surrender!
You can't say you weren't warned. You can't just loiter around on other people's property. You'll pay up and show me whether you stole anything. Otherwise, we'll deal with your unruliness in the pillory.
Look, can you keep a secret?
What are you talking about? What secret?
Look, we're both men, aren't we?
Where are you going with this? You're testing my patience.
It's like this. Yesterday, I met this pretty girl. She makes yarn. And you know what they say about girls who work with spinning wheels?
No? What?
They're really good in bed.
That's a good one.
Well, this yarn spinner, she was very afraid her mother would find out we planned on meeting. So she gives me these complicated directions on where to meet her. At high noon, I stood at the shadow of the tallest linden tree, and step by step, I set out. Then all of a sudden, I look around and realise I have no idea where I am. The girl's nowhere to be seen, and people are yelling at me. That girl made a right fool of me.
Ah, that's what you get for thinking with your prick.
Aye. I've had enough embarrassment for one lifetime. Can't we just let this one slide?
All right, then. I'll turn a blind eye, just this once.
That should do it.
Careful!
I hope I'm doing this right. Eight, 9.
I'm always glad to see people like you. God be with you.
Greetings.
I apologize.
I'm sorry.
Who do we have here?
Greetings, sir. Lord von Burgov, I've been told to deal with the demons plaguing the castle.
It's a thankless job, but a necessary one. I appreciate you taking care of it.
Are they really so much trouble around here?
They've been a nuisance ever since the castle was built. Call him whatever you want. Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub. That hellish bastard certainly wasn't happy when Sir Vincent started building 2 towers right on top of his extinguished fairy estate.
I can't imagine he was.
But he soon realized it made him closer to people and that he could tempt them more easily. Many a poor soul in the lower castle has already fallen for his schemes and made a pact with hell.
Why don't you put a stop to it?
The castle is situated in a good strategic location. We have no choice but to try and tolerate Lucifer, and he has no choice but to tolerate us.
God bless.
Excuse me.
Back to hell with you. A little more here.
their business.
Is that all?
How can I help you today?
I'll have a look at the wares. I'd like to do something about that price.
Sure, why not? Aye, you'll convince me with that price. Thank you, and a good day to you, friend.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'm sorry. You shouldn't be bothering us here. You're not allowed in here, so leave that door alone.
Greetings, friend. And with you?
Christ, what a day.
God be with you. Greetings to you, friend.
I'd like to learn a new combat technique.
This isn't the best time for that. Come back later, when it's light out.
God be with you.
Don't be a coward.
Careful.
What would you like, friend?
How long have you been serving in Trotsky?
And what are you after, anyway?
Nothing. I'm a blacksmith like my father before me, so...
So, you thought you might find some work with me? Well, you won't, fella me lad. And if you are going to be loitering around me here, all you'll do is get on my nerves. So, best be on your way.
Go and get your horse so we can get going.
Privies for the soldiers, but not a demon in sight.
Jesus Christ be praised.
You must have been wrong about those demons. The place you described to me was just a shitter.
You're right. My bad. I realised as soon as you left.
You were bored, so you made up the whole story.
Oh, come on.
I don't have time for your stupid jokes. You'd just be leading me on again.
I wouldn't dare. But suit yourself. Just don't be surprised when one of the demons comes back to bite you in the arse.
I took care of those demons. They shouldn't be a problem anymore. I've still got chills down my spine thinking about those screams.
Hopefully things will quieten down again for a while. Most importantly...
I decided to help Ossiner as well. I can still smell that stench everywhere.
He got you too, did he? He tries that prank on all the newcomers to the castle.
You knew? Why didn't you warn me?
I wouldn't want to spoil his fun.
Anyway, the job is done.
Trotsky Castle, held by Sir Otto von Berghoff, Lord of Billin, Royal Chamberlain of the Kingdom of Bohemia, Chairman of the Provincial Court, Member of the Crown Council, Magistrate of the Peace, Burgrave of Prague, thanks you.
I didn't fight Lucifer like Sir Otto, but even so, the demons should leave you alone. I'm glad I could help.
And I'm glad that all I have left to deal with this month is fixing the stairs, the sedilia, and checking all the chimneys.
You've got a lot to do.
There's always something to do at a big castle like this. Also, don't think you can continue to move freely about the castle. You are hereby stripped of that privilege. Nevertheless, since the minions of hell didn't reach the castle's coffer, nor did they cut into our profits, you deserve a reward. God be with you.
Christ, pardon me.
Almost ready.
Look what I have for you.
I bought a lovely U-bow the other day.
What will it be?
Show me your wares. Let's talk about the price.
Sure, why not?
Aye, you convinced me with that price. Thank you, and a good day to you, friend.
Jesus Christ be praised.
About Nickvard and the book.
How many times do I have to tell you? When you run into Lord Libac, tell him I have his medicine.
Medicine for what?
That's none of your business.
Well, if a nobleman's secret is worth so much, how about this? That'll buy you more than one book.
I suppose Lord Libac wouldn't mind. And do you have the exact amount?
Of course.
So many groschen. I promise I'll split it with Lord Libac when I see him, and I'll explain everything.
But now tell me, what's the medicine for?
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libac had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Nickvard didn't have time to run down the stairs, eh?
It was in the privy down below the Crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber, but to the arena instead, and only when there weren't any soldiers around. But this time, it caught up with him.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire time he looked as if he'd done the worst thing in the world. It happens to the best of us. And I told him as much then. I'm just surprised he never came back for another file. I must say, he did look as if the fate of the entire castle was suddenly on his shoulders.
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway.
Careful!
God be with you.
Praise the Lord.
What's that I hear?
What was that?
You're not permitted to be here. Surrender at once! I surrender!
What are you doing?
Now I'll show you. You can't say you weren't warned. You can't just loiter around on other people's property. You'll pay up and show me whether you stole anything. Otherwise, we'll deal with your unruliness in the pillory.
Look, can you keep a secret?
What are you talking about? What's secret?
Look, we're both men, aren't we?
Where are you going with this? You're testing my patience.
It's like this. Yesterday, I met this pretty girl. She makes yarn. And you know what they say about girls who work with spinning wheels?
No. What?
They're really good in bed.
That's a good one.
Well, this yarn spinner, she was very afraid her mother would find out we planned on meeting. So she gives me these complicated directions on where to meet her. At high noon, I stood at the shadow of the tallest linden tree, and step by step, I set out. Then all of a sudden, I look around and realize I have no idea where I am. The girl's nowhere to be seen, and people are yelling at me. That girl made a right fool of me.
Haha, that's what you get for thinking with your prick.
Aye. I've had enough embarrassment for one lifetime. Can't we just let this one slide?
All right then. I'll turn a blind eye just this once.
Greetings. Do you need something?
Do you know where I can find Nickford? The scribe said you might know.
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nickvard and me. You don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nickford.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nickvard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capon. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those two women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
True enough. Nickford has a flair for the dramatic.
My, that's Liebach for you.
But what does it mean? Can you explain any of it to me?
Lord Liebach has taken a liking to me. I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. But he thought I meant he was too old for me. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's potion book. He said it would light a flame in him that would burn out all that's old. So I suppose it worked. Hooray!
I know the book he's talking about, but what does he mean, into the void?
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here, talking about some old lovelorn nobleman.
I need help. You can give it some thought, can't you?
No! And now leave me alone. something from us! I saw you do it!
God be with you.
Halt!
Arrest him! My
I surrender!
Nyah, here you are. Time has come for you to confess to your thievery. And if I don't find those stolen things on you, you'll pay for them as well.
Wait a moment. Sure we can come to an agreement, can't we? I just wanted to borrow it for a bit. But I forgot to ask first.
That's not how it works. You can't just borrow things without asking. But fine, if you return it, we can let it be. But don't do anything like that again, got it?
I apologize.